Hi, this is Bill Stinnett with Sales Excellence. And today I want to respond to the question, how do you write a compelling sales proposal? Now there's a lot to be said on this, and so probably I won't get every idea I have to share with you here into this one little segment. There will be some other segments to follow on with this. But just a few things in terms of how to structure your sales proposal to make it more compelling, to make it more interesting, hopefully to make it more valuable, more likely that your client will want to move forward with it after they've had a chance to review it and so forth. And so here are just a couple of suggestions. First of all, the sales proposal needs to be about them, not us. And what I mean here, it's about the customer and the customer's business, not about us and our company and how great we are. You know, this really points back to that model that I teach. I spend so much time on that idea of selling the current state or point A and then that desired future state or point C before we start selling the B. I think there's no other place that this is more important than in a written sales proposal. And so what I mean by this is that we should have some segments in our proposal, first of all, to talk about where the customer's at now. We interviewed this person and we learned that, and we interviewed this guy and we learned that, and then we had a forum with these 4 people and they told us this and that. Let's give them a really good overview of what we understand about their current state. Now this does several things. It gains a lot of credibility, of course, and that you've done your homework and you know what you're talking about. But it also demonstrates that we're really interested in them. It helps us to define that we are addressing the right concerns. And when this proposal hopefully travels beyond just the several people that you know to some of the others that might be involved in the approval process, that they're going to see that we've taken the time to really understand where they're at. The second segment should be about that desired future state, or point C. We're talking about their goals, their objectives, the things they're trying to accomplish, what they've said they want to get done in the next 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years. And if we can articulate where they're at now, that current state, and where they want to go, that desired future state, and it's accurate, somehow it feels like that we're on their side, right? That we're actually working for them, that we're part of their company trying to solve the business problem that they're trying to solve. And so once we've defined then the current state and the desired future state, then it's time for our recommendations. And here's where I would put all the details and information you might want to put about your product or service. Now, coincidentally, you might also want to take some of the very technical details and put them down in an appendix. Let's talk about the solution and what it does and how it works and so forth here, yes. But if there are drawings, if there are tables, if there's a lot of technical data, I encourage you to put that in an appendix that doesn't muddy up the proposal, because we want them to go right from this A, C, and then B, moving pretty quickly within a half a page or so into the value segment. And what I mean by the value segment is, here's what it's going to do for your business. Here's the ROI analysis that we did on this. Here's a case study of another client that we worked with that saw X amount of returns over a certain amount of time. Here's the business case that we've helped them to create. Make sure that it's got a heavy and a substantial value segment to it. And in this segment, we're not only talking about the value we can help to add to their business, we also want to identify ways that we can help them to mitigate or minimize risks. Because you might have heard me say before, sometimes when a customer can't really tell that much difference between you and your competitor, what makes the difference is which one is less risky. If we can articulate how we help to minimize risks, then that makes that second little segment, that value segment, that much more important. Now, there might be some other things we want to include here, such as testimonials, such as reference accounts, things like that, some name dropping. Here are the names of some other clients we've worked with, etc. What that does is help to further mitigate risks, suggesting that we've worked with some others like them, hopefully maybe in their same industry, etc. Shows that we've got experience, we're not just trying it out on them. And then the last section of this would be where we would define the steps for moving forward. And I really put a lot of care into this, because the proposal, in many cases, is, yes, probably going to ask them to buy something, but what the client needs to know is, once I buy something, what happens then? Where do we go after that? And so I like to put a lot of care and effort, energy into defining, and when you decide to move forward, Mr. John, here are the things that we will do together after it. In essence, I want to define all the steps from point B, where a transaction takes place, all the way to point C, where the client starts to derive or begins to derive all the value that they're expecting to see from the investment they've made at point B. And so by defining that, by literally developing a step-by-step process, if you will, I encourage salespeople to put together a table with dates and who's going to be involved from our side and who's going to be involved from their side. It's an implementation plan, in essence. What's going to happen after they buy? And it's my belief that customers, it's a direct proportion. If customers are comfortable with moving to B and transacting in direct proportion to their comfort or, let's say, feelings of safety and their vision, their ability to see what's going to happen between B and C. So I hope some of these ideas have been useful to you. As I said, we got a lot more coming your way on writing effective proposals. This was just a little bit of the beginning of the structure of it all. I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.